Be the change you wish to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi, 1869–1948. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. Socrates, 469–399 BC. I have a dream. Martin Luther King Jr., 1929–1968. We can do anything we want to if we stick to it long enough. Helen Keller, 1880–1968. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson, 1803–1882. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Malcolm X, 1925–1965. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. African proverb. The unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates, 469–399 BC. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Wendy Mass. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 1882–1945. Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap but by the seeds that you plant. Robert Louis Stevenson, 1850–1894. I know that I am intelligent, because I know that I know nothing. Socrates, 469–399 BC. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Nelson Mandela, 1918–2013. In 3 words I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on. Robert Frost, 1874–1963. Believe you can and you're halfway there. Theodore Roosevelt, 1858–1919. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. Dalai Lama, 1935–present. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Thomas Edison, 1847–1931. The best way to predict your future is to create it. Abraham Lincoln, 1809–1865. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Martin Luther King Jr., 1929–1968. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 1882–1945. I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul. William Ernest Henley, 1849–1903. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Nelson Mandela, 1918–2013. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Thomas Edison, 1847–1931. If you can't fly then run. If you can't run then walk. If you can't walk then crawl. But whatever you do you have to keep moving forward. Martin Luther King Jr., 1929–1968. The man who has no imagination has no wings. Muhammad Ali, 1942–2016. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Plato, 428–348 BC. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Lao Tzu, 601–531 BC. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Martin Luther King Jr., 1929–1968. Life is what happens to us while we are making other plans. Alan Saunders, 1899–1986. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. Mark Twain, 1835–1910. The measure of intelligence is the ability to change. Albert Einstein, 1879–1955. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. Dalai Lama XIV, 1935–present. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill, 1874–1965. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Steve Jobs, 1955–2011. Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it. Charles R. Swindoll, 1934–present. You have enemies. Good. That means you stood up for something. Sometime in your life. Winston Churchill, 1874–1965. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Nelson Mandela, 1918–2013. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Confucius, 551–479 BC. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. Helen Keller, 1880–1968. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Dr. Seuss, 1904–1991. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Confucius, 551–479 BC. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi, 1869–1948. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. Martin Luther King Jr., 1929–1968. I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something. But I can't accept not trying. Michael Jordan, 1963–present. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Barack Obama, 1961–present. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Edmund Burke, 1729–1797. We must let go of the life we have planned, so as to accept the one that is waiting for us. Joseph Campbell, 1904–1987. The only source of knowledge is experience. Albert Einstein, 1879–1955. Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Winston Churchill, 1874–1965. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. Mark Twain, 1835–1910. You must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is like an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. Mahatma Gandhi, 1869–1948. I would rather die of passion than of boredom. Vincent van Gogh, 1853–1890. The best revenge is massive success. Frank Sinatra, 1915–1998. I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. Jimmy Dean, 1928–2010. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. Socrates, 469–470 BCE 399 BCE. It is better to be hated for what you are than to be loved for what you are not. André Gide, 1869–1951.